Watched because nobody is making good decisions right now. Absolutely nobody. Cassie is selling her dignity by the piece, Rue is literally digging her own grave, Nate is losing body parts, Jules is losing her safety net, and Maddie might be the most dangerous person in the room and nobody even realizes it. Hey, what's up everyone? Come back to Breakdown Epic. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. Now, Episode 5 of Euphoria Season 3 is one of those episodes that somehow manages to be darkly funny, deeply uncomfortable, and genuinely terrifying all at the same time. And honestly, I think that tonal chaos is what makes it work, because this season is not just about what these characters are willing to do, it is about how far they are willing to fall before they even notice they are falling. Let me start with the storyline that honestly had me pausing every 30 seconds just to process what I was watching. Cassie. Look, I have seen this character do a lot of questionable things over 3 seasons, but this episode takes it to another level entirely. She is doing things on camera that I genuinely did not expect this show to put on screen. ASMR content focused on specific body parts, sailor outfits, podcast tours where she says the most inflammatory things imaginable just to generate clicks, and when Maddie suggests something involving a jar, Cassie initially draws a line, only for Maddie to immediately override it.
That dynamic alone tells you everything you need to know about who is really in control here. But what makes Cassie's arc in this episode genuinely interesting is that it is not. This episode of Euphoria genuinely feels like the show decided to put every single character on a different kind of self-destruct timer and then just sat back and played purely for comedy. Yes, some of it is absurd, but underneath the absurdity, there is a real person slowly erasing herself to become whatever the algorithm wants. She is not building a brand, she is dissolving into one. Then Brandon enters the picture, and suddenly the stakes change. He offers her more visibility, more followers, more influence, and in exchange, all she has to do is move into his house and start creating content under his umbrella. That sounds exciting on the surface, but what it really means is Cassie handing over whatever independence she had left. And I found it really telling that the one person trying to keep Cassie tethered is the same person everyone assumes is manipulating her, Maddie. Now, I've been suspicious of Maddie all season. I still do not fully trust her, but this episode complicates that, because Maddie clearly has leverage over Cassie, and she uses it smartly. The contract, the audition threat, the way she calmly lets Cassie panic before pulling her back in line, that is not friendship, that is management. But here's the twist that actually surprised me. Cassie auditions for a real acting role, and she is not terrible.
The Shakespeare monologue from Antony and Cleopatra was an unexpected choice, and honestly, it kind of worked. Not because Cassie is suddenly a great actress, but because there is something painfully fitting about her performing a story about a doomed woman idolized by a doomed conqueror. If that is not a mirror for her own life, I do not know what is. Poor Lexi, though. She gets Cassie the audition through her own professional connections and then has to stand there watching her sister get praised for it while she carries lunch to the crew. In my opinion, Lexi continues to be the most unfairly punished character in this entire show. She does everything right and gets nothing back. Meanwhile, everyone around her keeps failing upward. Honestly, if Lexi does not get some kind of win by the end of this season, I am going to be personally offended on her behalf. Now, let's talk about Rue, because her storyline in this episode is genuinely one of the most stressful things I have watched all season. Bishop is giving off full serial killer energy from the start. The gear laid out, the hardware visible, the calm, emotionless delivery. Everything about his scenes says this man is capable of ending someone without changing his expression. And when he tells Rue that trouble has followed her since day 1, you can see her trying not to spiral in real time. What makes it worse is that Rue knows he is right. She is the problem. She just cannot admit it without getting killed.
The triple cross she is running right now is genuinely insane when you think about it. She works for Alamo, she works for the DEA, and she is still trying to navigate Laurie's world from the edges. That is 3 different sets of dangerous people all expecting loyalty from someone who cannot give it to any of them. And then the show literally has her dig her own grave. I mean, literally. She is standing in a field digging a hole while men watch her. Then they start shoveling dirt on top of her. And she just keeps standing there because at this point, what else is she going to do? She is so deep into survival mode that she has stopped processing how insane her reality has become. The polo mallet scene at the end is peak Euphoria chaos. You have Alamo on a horse swinging toward Rue's head while she screams, and then it cuts to black. Now, obviously she is not dead. You do not kill your lead character 3 episodes before the finale by hitting her with a polo mallet. At least I hope not. But the fact that the show even puts her in that position tells you exactly how expendable she has become in Alamo's eyes. In my opinion, Rue is now past the point where she can talk her way out of anything. She has been caught forgetting about planted evidence. She has been flagged by magic. Bishop already suspects her, and Alamo is starting to test her in ways that feel more like punishment than business.
Now, Nate's scenes in this episode are brutal, and I mean that physically. He gets money from Cassie. He celebrates like a man who just won the lottery, dancing around barefoot, drinking screwdrivers, acting like everything is fine. And then reality walks through the door in the form of one of Naz's guys, who proceeds to remove his toe and his ring finger while he screams on the bathroom floor. The detail of the little girl riding past on a tricycle outside while this is happening is such a classic Euphoria touch. Innocence and horror separated by one wall. At this point, Nate has lost his wife, his project, his dignity, and now actual pieces of his body. There is almost nothing left of the man he was at the start of this season, and honestly, I do not see how his story ends anywhere good. Then there is Jules, and her storyline feels quieter, but honestly just as tragic. Her scene with Rue on the couch eating Chinese food is probably the most normal moment in the entire episode. 2 old friends just sitting together. No chaos, no manipulation, just conversation. And that is exactly why it stands out. Because in a world where everyone is performing all the time, a moment of actual human connection feels almost shocking. But of course, it does not last. Ellis finds out about Rue and immediately draws the line. He is not risking his family. He is not risking his health. And Jules is now staring at the possibility of losing the one comfortable thing her compromised lifestyle gave her.
In my opinion, Jules is headed toward the exact realization she has been avoiding all season. That easy money was never easy. It was just borrowed time. And finally, Maddie. Because I think the most interesting development in the entire episode is not Cassie or Rue. It is Maddie sitting across from Alamo and matching his energy. She is not intimidated. She is not performing. She is negotiating. And Alamo seems genuinely impressed. He pushes for information about Rue, and Maddie gives just enough without giving too much. She talks business. She talks expansion. She talks franchising. That tells me Maddie is not just managing Cassie anymore. She is building something bigger. And whether that makes her brilliant or dangerous probably depends on how close she gets to Alamo's world before she realizes what it actually costs. So when I step back and look at this episode as a whole, I see one clear pattern. Every character is trading something they cannot get back in exchange for something they think they want. Cassie is trading dignity for followers. Rue is trading safety for survival. Jules is trading independence for comfort. Nate is trading his body for time. And Maddie might be trading morality for money. And none of them seem to realize the receipt is coming. But anyway, that is my breakdown of Euphoria Season 3, Episode 5, and what I think all of these storylines are really building toward. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments, who do you think is actually in the most danger right now? Rue buried in the ground, Nate losing body parts, or Cassie signing contracts she has never read? I will catch you in the next one.